We are so excited to introduce you to a company called Organifi. It is a supplement company full of organic superfood blends that offer plant-based nutrition with high quality and ingredients that contain less than 3 grams of sugar. Each superfood blend is easy to use by simply mixing it with water or your favorite beverage while on the go, providing you with quality nutrition throughout your day. So it's extremely convenient and it's great tasting. If you're looking for a really wonderful green juice, I highly recommend Organifi's green juice. To start your day, you're going to get essential superfoods that help reduce stress and reset your morning. The green juice contains a clinical dose of ashwagandha, and it supports healthy cortisol levels, which aid in weight management. Organifi takes pride in offering the best tasting superfood products on the market at a price that works out to less than $3 a day. You can experience Organifi's high-quality superfoods without breaking the bank. Go to Organifi.com and use code REPS for 20% off your order. That's ORGANIFI.com and use our code REPS for 20% off any item.
Hey guys, we might as well just start this because Jeanna's late and we're already recording. So you've got B and D, just minus the J, no J. We'll wait till she gets on. Actually, no, let's say welcome to another episode of BD and J. Without J. Yeah. Guys, welcome to another episode Between the Reps with BD and no J. But when she gets on here, we're going to let her think that we're starting it together, and then we'll redo the intro. But really, me and Jay are starting it. So we're on time. Yeah, she'll be coming today. So I'm in Montana. This is where I live now. Yep. And Gina's still in California. We're doing what we can to keep the podcast going. Obviously, I'm sure you can understand it's very difficult when life happens, and you got to pivot a lot. And you're all over the place. I've just been constantly been pivoting. Yeah. And that's what I've chosen to do instead of just like getting really bummed about a lot of shit. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, pivot's a great word of what both of us are doing. And what we're sort of talking about today is how to pivot when things come up, when injuries happen, when surgeries happen, when life happens, and we're just on the move. So learning how to pivot. Is that her texting us? Laptop won't connect. Damn it, Gina. Damn it, Gina. Yeah, so here's how I decided what I wanted to talk about. So I obviously haven't been, we're trying to get Gina on the line. She's coming. She's dealing with some technical issues. So I hadn't trained for 6 weeks because I had surgery. And I'm not new to it. Like Dee's not new to it, but it sucks every time. Like every time you have to take so much time off or heal, or, you gotta pivot because, like, for instance, I had a real big pivot when I had a fusion. Like here I am at the top of my game, competing at the CrossFit games, and now I've got a fused neck, and I no longer will ever be that athlete that I was. Like I had to pivot and figure out something new and come to terms with it physically, figure out how to get through it physically, but then come to terms with it mentally. And so it's nothing new, but I finally had my first like real training session after taking 6 weeks off, and me and Jacob Hutton, we hit legs. He wanted to hit legs. And so I said, okay, might I add, 2 days prior, I was in Florida and I did squat. I didn't do a bunch. I had yet to like do a training session, like a full one. So I thought, I'll hit legs with you. I can squat a couple days in a row. We did a big training session. We did hit legs, and we went to the track and did some 400 meter runs, like literally 4 of them. We're trying to ease both of us back into running. Got on the scale, what was I weighed? I weighed in that afternoon with 148. And just like for reference, okay, when I was competing, I've always bounced between like, when I was competing, like 152 and like 155, 156. And then when I wasn't competing anymore and I'm just training, I'm now sitting more between like 148 to 147 to like 151. And I've slowly been I want to stay under 150. I just feel better there, but like within reason, because if I'm not lifting a lot, so when I've been recovering from anything, my weight goes down, but I look flat too. It's like I don't have my quads, my glutes, my shoulders, like my muscle gets a lot smaller. And so the point is this, everybody's different. So for me, like finding a good in between of like where I feel good weight wise in my clothes, to also, is it worth me feeling flat and not full and not like looking the way that I feel, like strong. So finding a good little ratio there. But anyways, I weighed myself at the gym, did my first big training session. I'm like really excited to like get back to training. We're doing the fall challenge for naked training, and I was 148. Cool. After it was like, late morning. The next day, literally the next day.
Or it could have even been that night.
It could have been that night. I had no idea. Yeah. This is something that like I can't say everyone, but like it's a normal thing. So the next day, I was going to train. Me and Jake were trying to figure out where we're going to train. He ended up not being able to train that day. I was super sore from hitting legs and running the day before. So my mom, I was going to be leaving town to come to Montana. So my mom, I spent the day with her. Showered, got ready, put on my jean shorts, wear them all the time. Like all the time. And I was out and about. And I'm like, God, why are my shorts so tight? Like I had just worn them like 2 days prior. And I'm like, why are they so tight? And like my right quad, like it was tighter on my right leg than it was on my left. And I remember, I'm thinking, what in the actual fuck? So I get home. We went shopping to find my dad some pants. Got home and I'm like, I'm just gonna like get on the scale because I feel kind of funny. Yeah. 4 pounds. The next day I had increased my weight. I was at over 152. And I was like, what in the actual fuck?
You had to have been like just inflammation.
Yes. I mean, like I didn't like crush fucking burgers, like so much food that I would have, it would be through swelling. It wasn't from sodium. Yeah. You know what I mean? Blew my mind. And here's the thing is like, I know, I'm so aware of what happens. Like you coming back from injury, or you've been traveling, or you're trying a whole new training regimen. Your body, especially taking 6 weeks off, you're going to start training and you're really going to swell before you're kind of just like maintaining the same amount of hydration or like water in your muscles. So I had so much muscle breakdown, especially with like a heavy leg day.
And watch out for rhabdo. I know what that's about.
Yes, you do. Yeah. And I'm just swollen. Yeah. I had texted Jake and I was like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, workout with Jacob Hutton one day, can't fit in my pants, and also very swollen. And I gained 4 pounds overnight. And he laughed and said, a break, like a break from training will kill you. And I just thought it was so funny because even though, like for myself, like I've been through so many time off or breaks or surgeries or whatever, and I've been in the game of working with, basically I have so much knowledge on training and what actually happens at a molecular level. And I understand all these things, but even though I know it, I still didn't know it. Like I found myself being so crazy that I was Googling to find articles to reiterate what I already understood about what had happened in my body. Because like I felt the need to be even more sure that like, that's
to make
what
sure that, I mean, that's like your whole thing. Like is with like swelling and stuff, that has a lot to do with rhabdo. So like that's also something that you have to be careful of when you take long breaks and you go right back into doing exactly what you're doing. You have to ease back in just like you would with like a diet. You can't just go from one end to another. Yeah. Because you have to worry about that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's when that I had no idea what rhabdo was. So same with hers, like with the injuries. So I've never had to take time off because I've been I haven't really injured myself as a bodybuilder. We just don't hurt ourselves. The whole goal is not to hurt ourselves. So everything's slow and controlled. We're not doing anything fast. We're not even going really heavy. Me, on the other hand, I do go heavy, but everything's just always slow, controlled. And I've had probably, I guess, I got rhabdo 3 years ago, and then a couple months after that, maybe it was 2.5 years ago, I got diagnosed with Graves' disease. I don't know if they have any correlation. Possibly, because Graves' disease, there's not much that they know of, like why it happens, just sort of happens. So Graves' disease is an autoimmune disease where you have antibodies that kind of like your body's actually attacking itself. Mine happens to be my thyroid. So you have Hashimoto's, which is hypothyroid, and Graves is hyperthyroid. So dealing with that. Is she coming on?
She's coming on.
Unite the world through health and happiness by providing access to high-quality nutrition, education, and community. Organifi is a line of organic superfood blends that offer plant-based nutrition with high-quality ingredients and less than 3 grams of sugar. You guys, this company has high-quality ingredients. They choose the highest quality plant-based ingredients for optimal health. Each blend is science-backed to craft the most effective doses with ingredients that are organic and free of fillers when possible, and less than 3 grams of sugar per serving. I am absolutely loving the Organifi Glow. It's for complexion that starts on the inside. It's all about skin. Organifi Glow is a vegan superfood blend daily to hydrate the skin and support your body's natural collagen production. Glow helps replenish your skin for a radiant, refreshed look with a delicious raspberry lemonade taste. Organifi takes pride in offering the best tasting superfood products on the market at a price that works out to less than $3 a day. You can experience Organifi's high quality superfoods without breaking the bank. Go to Organifi.com and use code REPS for 20% off your order. That's ORGANIFI.com and use our code REPS for 20% off any item.
Yes. Oh my God. And I'm in the worst office with fluorescent overhead lighting.
You still look
fine.
Beautiful.
Fuck my life. Hi.
Hi. Welcome.
Dude. Hi, guys.
Welcome
so you guys
to your show.
Oh, hey, it's your show, baby. I'm in a break room and it smells. It smells like old microwave.
Oh.
Drinking shitty coffee.
Dude, oh, you can tell just by the cup, it's shitty coffee.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, this is what I came in and this is the shit that's on the windowsill, like a Band-Aid, an old sponge. Yeah, it's gross.
Old sponge.
It's an old sponge. I don't even know what's in that spray bottle. I mean, look at the walls. It's like, this is pretty fancy.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot like your warehouse, Dana.
Yeah, very, very similar.
Super updated.
Super updated. Very modern. Very modern.
Okay, guys. So what are you guys talking about? Recovery?
Hey, yeah, we were just talking about that. We're both falling apart.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Well, welcome to my world. It's from hanging out with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are starting to get all my ailments. I'm actually just slowly draining your youth from both of you. You didn't know it.
Getting healthier.
You're getting
and we're
better.
both like,
Yeah.
What what witch is that does that? Like, isn't it like mirror? She looks in the mirror and why can't Cinderella? No.
oh, it's Snow White.
Snow White.
Oh, Snow White.
Snow White. Yeah. She like tries to drain her so she can be useful.
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. That is what I'm doing. I've always said that I look like right after I get my eyebrows microbladed, I look like that witch. Like the crazy solid black. Yeah.
An angry bird.
Yeah.
So Dee was just talking about what Graves' disease is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
And we're talking about kind of
like how to pivot and like how to get
processes
through, because I know the first time, so I was saying, like, I've never had to deal with injury. I've never taken breaks. I think the longest break I ever took was like, I had 2 days off, but I've been someone that trains 7 days a week since I started. And
Which is how long? How many years is that?
17,
Like, wow.
17 years. Yeah.
That is very lucky. And
Yeah.
no injuries. It's
No
amazing.
injuries. I was just saying the difference between bodybuilding and CrossFit, we're way safer.
Yeah.
Like for me, you know, because I grew up playing all the different sports and I was a dance major, where you kind of move and train in like a multi-plane, not just like in sport, which is like forward, really just forward.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe forward and like kind of
right.
Yeah.
But I never had injury. Like, I never dealt with anything, and
I
was because that
I broke my leg once. Yeah.
I mean, I guess, you know, I had injuries like that, but not from training.
But not from training.
And it was years into doing CrossFit before I dealt with any tendonitis or anything.
Mm-hmm. Same.
And then the further away from like dance and multi-sport training, more years that I was away from that and just doing CrossFit, where we're still just we're doing a lot more than, you know, the average person who's training, but I was doing less focus on my ankles and feet. In dance, it's like ankles, feet, knees, hips, so much stretching constantly, which I just looked at it as like, that's what we did in dance.
Yeah.
And the further away I got from a routine like that, the more things started to bother me or become an issue because, well, probably because a lot of those things that are very important are going to be done more on your own time and not when you're in the middle of a training session. Whereas when I was dancing and doing all that, all of the rehab and prehab is built into what your routine is every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So you never even thought about it as.
Well, and doing CrossFit at a competition level is so different than doing it for
I think
fitness.
it's just the intensity factor.
Yeah.
You're moving heavy weight at a fast pace. Bodybuilders, we're the opposite. We can still move heavy weight, but we're very slow pace.
You're like a turtle.
Yeah, it's just like very slow, controlled. You're just concentrating on contraction. We're not worried about how fast we get through a workout. And that's like where those injuries come into play is the key factor.
Right.
That's just how it is. So I've never had to deal with that.
That's definitely why Jeanna gets her all the time. She's just going through work way too fast.
I just go full on. Yeah, I just like want to beat everybody. I'm so competitive that I injure myself every time. Whoa, that's a giant jug of water.
Oh yeah.
Wow. You guys are really staying hydrated.
Okay, we're being bodybuilders. Here's where we're at. You guys.
Here's a good one. This is how the CrossFit. So the first day I joined a CrossFit gym. First fucking day, I got rhabdo.
She did.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, literally.
I've heard this
I'm
story.
not meant for
crazy
because I am a psychopath. And,
right.
And also,
well, and someone should have maybe explain that a little bit better. And wasn't it from the GHD?
Yeah, the GHD sit-ups. Yeah, someone should have hit me like, hey, if you don't do these all the time, after I've learned that's what it is. And I guess it's a very common thing in CrossFit.
Well, the thing is like this, okay?
Well, maybe explain rhabdo to those who don't know what it is.
So rhabdo is when you have muscle breakdown. So you have muscle tissue that kind of gets into your bloodstream and so it has to be filtered through the kidneys.
Yes.
And you'll have like buildup in your kidneys. And so then things start
when you have too much protein, your kidneys and your liver can't break it down. Now, for most people that get rhabdo, it affects their kidneys. However, for me, there's some cases where it affects your liver. So my kidneys were fine. My liver, I was basically in liver failure. It wasn't working.
Oh my God.
It wasn't doing anything. So they take your like creatine, all those words. And it's supposed to be like 50 to 100. And I was like 35 to 40,000. So like 20,000 or 20 times what it should have been. Which basically when you have way too much protein in bloodstream, it can't filter through and it shuts things down. So my liver wasn't working. So that's the only problem. Like so the easy sign and symptom for rhabdo is like if your pee is like brownish. My pee was fine.
Here's what happened.
So wait, how did you know?
So it took me 5 days to fit. So
I told
it was
her
on
as
a
soon as
Monday.
she called me, I knew exactly what it was.
4 days later.
Yeah. I get this text message and Dee goes, dude, because first of all, it was such a bummer because she went to her class and was like Instagramming me, like she was so excited. She wished that
I went
was
back
there.
on Wednesday
Yeah.
too.
So she went
And I did.
While you were
So it happened. So I went to class on Monday. I was fucked up after. I was like, damn, that was a good workout. Like, I'm gonna have to write this down and do it again. Like, I am so sore because I'm a little crazy.
right.
The next day I did Muay Thai. I was training every day, bodybuilding. I did Muay Thai on Tuesday. I ended up and left the class early because every punch that I was doing, it was like hurting.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I went back to CrossFit and I felt terrible. Still went through the entire workout. So I can only imagine what my levels were at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because they were finally sort of dropping down at some point. Thursday is when the swelling happened. So my stomach started to it was just holding water. So like I could jump and my stomach just shook like Santa Claus.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh shit, I think I like ripped something. Like
and it probably didn't help the matter because like she still was training so much. So like if the GHD really started it, but then doing any sort of Muay Thai and like still working your core. So like you just kept working it every single day.
Kept doing it.
Yeah.
Just did my best.
You're a crazy person.
Well, I couldn't even stand. I was like walking over this. And I remember trying to like go through the workout. I'm like, God damn, I gotta stand up. My abs were so fucked up. I wasn't even standing upright and still training for some reason. You know, it's like,
You're an animal. Dana, you're an animal.
The thing is this though, because like in terms of like when she texted me and I was like,
I sent you a picture of my stomach. I was like, look at this.
And you told me, and I was like, I called you immediately, and I was like, first of all, what did you do? And she sent me the workout that she did, and I said, you need to walk like what? And I said, what color is your pee? And it was fine. And I'm like, no, I'm like, you need to go to the doctor. You need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And the thing is this, it's like you have, clearly we all know what Dana looks like, right? So it's like, it's poor on the coach's part of this gym because you really we're taught as coaches to always assume that people that they're all beginners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to, it's like you assume that with nutrition, you assume that with training, because she's an athlete. And she's incredible. So she
looks super fit.
Yes. But when we're going to have her do something like a GHD, which we already know is a lot more complicated than a sit-up, you just rule of thumb is you just always ask the person who's new to your gym, like, what experience do you have?
Being that
have you ever used this machine?
Right.
Now, for instance, if you are a true beginner, like she's not a beginner. But the reason you'd want to ask her those questions is because we know how bad this can destroy you, especially in the format of the workout, which they did, which is like a fight gone bad style, which means 2-minute rounds.
So I was doing average around 35 to 40 per 2 minutes.
Yes.
So times three, I think we did 3 or 4 rounds.
Which is like I wouldn't even do that in a workout.
Right.
And especially if you've never done that kind of volume on a machine like that,
right?
Never do that,
Hello. Yeah, just keep moving.
Is there a ghost in there?
I was like, wait, does the power go out here too? What the fuck?
Oh man.
All right, sorry.
No, yeah, but like I was just gonna mention, like Dana's not a beginner. And what she also brings to the table is
the psycho factor,
just like so competitive. Right. There's that aspect. Now, if you have a true beginner, first of all, you would never put them on the GHD. But if you did, right? If you did put them on the GHD,
you tell them
there's no way in hell they would even have the muscle endurance to even put themselves to a point where they would potentially get something like rhabdo. Now, that's why as a coach or within, you would worry more typically about people doing things that are so beginner that they're doing things like jumping pull-ups. They're doing things that are all assisted, ab mat sit-ups that are in high reps because they can always do one more of those.
Yeah.
They can do a
Right.
lot of reps like this, like jumping pull-ups. And then that's what causes like the like too much muscle breakdown, which is why you find people like runners who actually end up getting rhabdo way more than people that are like getting it from CrossFit. We just don't hear about that.
Marathon
Runners, because it's that constant same movement over and over and over
Just
again
so much.
Right.
in one area. That's why like she didn't get rhabdo all over her whole body.
It
It's
was
from
in one
muscle,
area.
like one area that was being overworked. And you do like that is. It can be an issue. And that's why it's like when she told me, as soon as she fucking texted me a photo and told me what happened, I was just so mad at this gym. At coaches.
I'm mad at this gym.
At the coaches, because it's like,
Well, that's like what they teach you, because you were a trainer, right? Like you've done that. That's like one of the first things.
It was just such an error, like just a rookie error, and it's like I told her, like, I get why they didn't bring it up.
Just based off of what she looks like. Right.
But like, that's why you just, even if you, like, they could have thought like, oh, I don't want to say anything like that, because clearly she's super fit and I know who she is, and would she be offended if I were to like not let her do something? You really can't. Like, if you're in the position of power, if you're in the position of coach or trainer, like, just
you're in charge.
Just do your job. You don't have to be an asshole about it, but you do it because it's coming from a place
and you
of
should
like,
know, I'm a great candidate to get it, because generally the more muscle mass you have and the psycho factor of being super competitive, that's just like a easy, like they should have realized that from the beginning. But
I think that's one of the pitfalls of a lot of the CrossFit gyms that have that mentality of like, go big or go home. Or like,
and I have that mentality.
Right.
Like, I want to push myself till I'm laying on the ground. Like that's me. But knowing that, and knowing, like, I never even heard of rhabdo, never heard of it until I guess I got it. Then did a lot of research on it.
Yeah.
If you're just worried about calorie counting, it's not enough. You need to think about your nutrition. The science is clear. A healthy gut microbiome with the good bacteria to help our bodies process food is key to a healthy lifestyle. But now we're learning about the connection between your gut microbiome health and type 2 diabetes. Pendulum Glucose Control is the first and only medical probiotic that's designed to manage A1C and blood glucose levels through the health of your microbiome. We would like to encourage our listeners to learn how Pendulum Glucose Control can help manage their diabetes naturally. For those with type 2 diabetes, diet and exercise alone are often not enough to manage it. The best approach emphasizes diet, exercise, and a healthy gut microbiome. Pendulum Glucose Control helps fill in the gaps by providing the first and only probiotic designed to manage blood glucose and A1C levels. They've isolated one keystone strain, Akkermansia, that is now available to purchase. Pendulum is the only place to find this highly sought-after strain. Take control of your glucose levels today. Try Pendulum Glucose Control for 90 days. If you're not satisfied with your levels, you'll get your money back. Visit pendulumlife.com to find out more and use promo code REPS for 20% off your first bottle of membership. That's pendulumlife.com, promo code REPS.
Yeah. So
what did they do for it? Did they just figure like?
I remember I went to my primary doctor. She did blood work. So that took a couple days. So here I am, like a week later, still haven't done anything. And I remember her calling me up, and it was weird because I had really bad dreams the night before she called me. I had really bad dreams that I was dying for some reason. And I woke up like freaking out and like crying. I told Rob about my dream. He's like, no, you're not dying. You're fine. And of course, then my doctor calls me. I'm like getting ready for work. My doctor calls me. She's like, hey, Dina, like, what are you doing today? I'm like, oh, just getting ready for work. Did you get my results back? She's like, yeah. I need you to drop everything and get yourself in the ER immediately, because I don't want anything to go downhill. I was like,
oh my God. You
I started crying. I was like, I told you I'm dying.
You never listen to me.
I don't know. I just had weird dreams that night. So went to the ER, got admitted. I was there just all day, but I don't know. I feel like they put something in they just pumped me full of fluid. And then
Yeah,
they
that's what I was
put
wondering.
You're trying to flush stuff
just
out.
flush everything out. I did like four of those 4-liter bags. And yeah, and then they went home and just told me not to like lift for, I think they said 3 months, but I probably took a month off.
Yeah.
I probably took a month off of like lifting. I
Yeah.
started doing cardio a week later. Just cardio. And then I think by the 3rd or 4th week, I was like, oh, come on. Like, I understand. Like, I'm not going to do anything crazy. Started lifting probably 4 weeks later, just really light. And then I did that probably for about 2 months. And then it's weird because I think that was the same year, about 4 months after I got rhabdo, that's when I started losing weight. I lost 20 pounds within a month. So there I go again, thinking I'm dying again. So
Was that the Graves? Was that the Graves?
So I got diagnosed with Graves' disease. I didn't realize anything was happening until I was doing cardio one day, and it was weird because we had started dieting because the Olympia was coming up. So we did like for a Run Everything promotion for our supplement line, me, Rob, and Austin, like wrote diets. We posted them on Running Everything. Just, we were going to like prep for the next 4 weeks to get to Olympia, just so we were like in better shape. So I remember I'm like, I didn't change anything with my diet. I just added like, I'm just making sure I was doing cardio consistent. Mm-hmm. And I remember finally, like, I'm not someone that usually weighs myself. It was years since I always knew about what I was. And then I remember stepping on the scale. I'm like, whoa, I'm a little bit like, wow, that one extra day of cardio is really fucking
my body really responds to that.
My body's really responding to a one extra day of cardio. So I was just making sure I was doing it 5 days a week instead of like 3 or 4. And I was like, wow, this is great. Like, as slowly, and then I started like tracking. I was like, every other day I would like get on the scale. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm another pound down. I got to the Olympia and I was like, I was shredded. Like,
I bet.
So lean. But I also didn't realize what I started at. Like, before now, I typically stayed around like 138 to 140. I had a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah.
And I was,
because I was always about 10 pounds more than you.
I was a lot bigger. Always had, my legs were really big shoulder, like I had a ton of muscle. So it weighs a lot. And then I remember going to Olympia and I was like, I didn't know that's what I normally was at, but my doctor who I had been at before had weighed me.
Right.
And I was right around like 140. I got to Olympia and I was 130. I was like, holy wow, this is amazing. And I was just pumped and I was looking great. I was like, holy shit, I'm going to keep this up. But what happens is a lot with Graves' disease, it can start really slow. And then you'll have what they call as like thyroid, like a storm, a Graves' storm or a thyroid storm. So in 1 week, I was waking up a pound lighter every single day. So then I was like, fuck, something's happening.
Yeah.
So again, went back to the doctor, did blood work again, did that whole thing. And it's weird because the process is just takes so long, like to get your labs back. So like they were waiting on this one thing so they did T3, T4, like thyroid stuff, because I told her all the signs and symptoms. And and within that time, I'm just still losing weight. There was some days where I wake up 2 pounds later, another pound later, another.
Dude, it reminds me of that movie, The Machinist, you know, or is it The Machinist? It's like where that guy, no, it's a Stephen King, like where something happens to him and he just keeps losing weight until he's just like dead, basically. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, I got down to 122.
Oh my God.
That's my low, maybe even lighter than that. So not realizing, like I had lost like 20 pounds and didn't even realize it. And I also didn't realize that I know all the signs and symptoms now. I thought I was just having bad workouts.
Yeah.
I was getting weaker. I was fatiguing really fast. And then I finally went to doctor when I was doing cardio and I was like so out of breath, but I was like, God, I'm not in shape right now. And because I do like Tabata, I do like high intensity, short amount, like 15, 20 minute things. I remember getting off my Peloton bike and my heart rate was max heart rate. I was like taking it. I was like, Jesus, my heart is going so fast. but then the scary part was it didn't go down for like 3 or 4 hours. It was max heart rate for 4 hours. Like,
Oh my God.
getting anxiety.
Well, yeah, you're having a heart attack. It feels
Yeah.
like. Sorry, I'm in the dark again. I
Yeah.
don't know what's happening.
And that's the thing I hate the most. And that's why.
Sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. You're doing a serious thing.
Gina, what was that horror movie we just watched? It was like all through the
I know.
Zoom.
Oh, we watched
We
that
watched it.
together.
I feel like all of a
And
sudden
the
we're gonna
lights
see
off.
someone come in and just like your chair's gonna go.
Yeah, you're gonna fly across the screen.
It keeps going out. I'm sorry,
Oh my
Dana. You're like in this really serious thing.
No, it's
Here,
not
keep
that.
going. I'm gonna go
not
try to turn the light back on. I feel like this is like, hey guys.
You need to have like a little knot coming out of your like.
No, it's like when it started, it's like,
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
all right.
So finally got diagnosed with Graves' disease, found out what that's all about. So the reason you lose so much weight, my resting heart rate was like 115. So there's not enough food in the day that I could eat. I'm
burning cows.
I'm
You're
basically
you're like a hummingbird.
running
Like a
all
hummingbird.
day long.
It's exactly what you're like a hummingbird,
Yeah,
except that when a hummingbird sleeps, it basically dies,
yeah.
and then
Right. Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
Definitely couldn't sleep. Sleeping was an issue. Sleeping's still a little bit of an issue because you're laying in bed and you can just feel your heart just like
Right.
sleep. Yeah.
Right.
Anxiety is like through the roof because I mean I'm okay now, but every time it comes back, like there was a week where I just wake up in panic attacks because I feel like I'm having a heart attack.
Well, yeah.
It's thumping so hard and going so fast that I feel like I'm dying again.
Right. Right. So you had that happen the one time, but then you had a little bit of a relapse. Yeah.
So
Or is that what you call it? Or
it basically, you have it for the rest of your life. I'm going to have this for
Okay.
the rest of your life. It's something that can go in remission. So for the last year, I've been in remission. I haven't been on medication. I've been in I was in the best shape of my life. I gained all my muscle back. Strength was basically about like 90%. I wasn't all the way strong again.
yeah.
It was like a year that I was dealing with it, a year of being weak and tired and fatigued and you just can't.
So you dealt with it for an entire year.
Dealt with it a year, and then I've been on
Wow.
remission for another year, and
Okay.
now it's back. So I lost,
Okay.
but the good thing is I know exactly, as soon as I start having a couple bad workouts in a row where I start feeling tired, out of breath, I take my heart rate, I know what to do, and then I just get on medication right away. So,
Okay.
yeah. It's annoying. I think the hard
Right.
thing is the thing that I love most is the gym.
Right.
And the motivation factor's not there. The first time I actually, where we're gonna get into like pivoting, it's hard to be motivated when the girl that used to bench 225 can't get 85 pounds off her chest. Like,
Right.
so, and that's a big thing, like with you to try, like working out's hard enough. Getting motivation to work out and like getting through workouts, but like seeing all your weights go down, seeing all your muscles go away, like
Right.
losing weight, and you literally can't do anything about it.
Right.
And just it's hard to like keep training. So the first time I just stopped lifting altogether because it's like devastating and sad.
Right.
So I like
Well, it fucks with your head. Yeah.
I still tried like 3 times a week. I would just do some like bodybuilder stuff, just trying to keep it in my head. Like, hey, you're not going to be able to do this. And the thing is, I didn't know if it would ever come back, but now I know I can get it back. I've gone through it once. I can do it again.
It just takes, you just have to be willing for the time.
Yeah.
But like you said, at least you know that what it is and you know what to do right away
know what
rather
to
than
do.
going through all the bullshit of trying to.
Yeah, I know my strength will come back. I know my muscles will come back. At first, I didn't know. So I switched
Right.
gears. I started training with a friend of mine. Rob was training with him like every day. He's more like athletic training, roster runner. You met him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dan, Rob was training with him every day. So he was like, hey, just like take a break, like switch gears. Get your focus out of the weights, because when you're focusing like, oh, I used to do lateral raises with 40s and now I can only do 10s. Like,
Right.
Like you just got to get out of that mindset, change the next one, and like get into a different thing, get into
Right.
something new that you're not good at.
Just to get you excited.
Yeah, get like something. And the cool thing with Dan is I'm doing all these movements. We're working on agility. We're working on balance. We're working on jumping, things that have nothing to do with weights whatsoever. And I started to like training again because it was new. Most of the stuff we were doing was with body weights, or it was like a weird exercise, so you can't do a whole lot of weight with it. So weights came completely out of the factor. And
But then all the while learning this whole other skill.
yeah, learn.
I can't. I couldn't balance on a fucking ball. I watched you do that shit
couldn't remember
before.
the last time I like jumped and working on like box jumps. I got up to 45 inches. Was like,
Oh wow.
yeah, it was a pretty. I mean, the box is like
I was
up to my
saying, I was like,
chin.
Yeah.
that's really tall.
Yeah.
You're not.
That's
I'm
impressive.
not- it's like up to my chest and like
Wow.
like skills like that.
Explosive. Yeah.
So like seeing improvement in a completely different area that like I didn't think I could work on because I haven't done like athletic stuff in a really since like college. So that was one thing that if anyone ever like if you have an injury, like this is the time to learn a new skill. Get out of your head like you have an injury and you can't do CrossFit anymore, you can't lift anymore. I hurt my shoulder. Here's the time to work on your mobility, work on your balance, work on something that you like, just a new skill altogether to try to take your focus off the negative, which is like, I can't lift and I'm so weak and this is terrible. Switch gears. And that's what I did for the next year. And then once I started feeling better, like obviously I was still training, just not focusing on that. And now I'm like full, well, for the last year, I've been full back on like bodybuilding, building my muscle back, building everything that I lost back.
Wow.
And now I'm just in it again. But now this time I'm not really, I'm still doing like some athletic training here and there. I just know in my head that like, this is just now. I'm going to get through it and then you'll be on the other side again. So now I'm not so like worried about it. So like, I know I'm weak right now. I know training's hard. I can't really do cardio really well right now. This is just now and I'll get past this and hopefully be on a longer remission this time.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah.
I need your mindset.
That's the thing. It's like
It's really the choice.
You have to switch it. You got to just switch gears. Like with your training and too, like when you get injured, like sometimes like that's when like, oh, I got to do some bodybuilding for now. You just have to switch gears. So you're not focusing on what you can't do right now.
Right.
Focusing on things that like, oh, I'm learning this. I'm learning a new skill. I'm box jumping 45 inches. That's awesome.
That is insane, actually.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, I'm way taller than you and I couldn't probably step up on one. Seriously, everybody thinks like, oh, Gina's tall. She can do like the higher box jumps. I'm like, I can't.
No.
I always make up excuses for one reason. Oh, my ankle hurts or something. I just lie. I lie. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my sciatica. Yeah, enrages my sciatica. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. There we have it.
The takeaway is like when things happen, when things go wrong, like you can't train the way you want to train. It's just, you got to switch gears, focus on something, focus on a new skill to move on.
Yeah. And I think, something I've learned probably just from going through so many shitty situations.
Yeah. You've had way more than me, way more.
Is, you know, like, cause what we had talked about a little bit in the beginning is like, I've just been having to do a lot of pivoting lately, not even just in terms of training. And, you know, there's been some things I'm going through that I've mentioned them to other people and like, they don't know how to react because like, I'm laughing about it. Like me and Jeanna are laughing about it. And they're thinking like, oh, why are you laughing? Because that seems like pretty,
you're like, because this is how I get through things.
No, like it
keeps me from crying.
After so much of going through ups and downs, like you really start to realize the truth, which is you just your only option is to pivot and to just to move on from it, because you got to let go of the things you can't control and just control what you can. And that really comes into play for any sort of injury, especially something like either I've had multiple. So it's like, or Dee's dealt with the same thing And like, once you get through it, like, it almost seems even more devastating when it happens again.
It's more frustrating than anything, just because it's like, fuck, man, like for the next however many months that it's going to take me to get through this one, I'm going to be miserable training for the next 5 months.
Or like, I came out of my first cervical fusion. I did PT, I trained, I did the open, I made it to regionals. So like, in my mind, I had this like life-changing thing happen, really, in terms of my sport and my career as an athlete. And I put in all this work and pain and tears and like moments of realizing, moments of like, I can't even hold a bar that I would warm up with, you know, and I had to really work back. And then after regionals, I came out of regionals with a new issue. Now, all of a sudden because I had atrophy in my shoulders from not training, now I've got all these deeper labrum tears and things I couldn't put my arms above my head. You know, now it's like, oh fuck, I just did all this work and now it's like another setback. But the best thing you can do is, allow yourself to actually feel the emotions that you're feeling. Don't try to ignore them just because you feel like I have to be positive. Like, you have every right to be mad and to be upset. You know, and you should feel that. But then what you should do is work through it in a way where, well, what can I do?
Right.
Because at that point, that's the best thing that you can do, is figure out what you can do and just start taking steps in the direction that's going to be the best for you at the time. And if you have really cool people around you, really awesome best friends, then
it helps.
It doesn't matter if you're going through hell or you're, you know, having the best day of your life. You'll get through it, and you'll enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it's like, a lot of stuff we care about so much that like really affects us, it really doesn't matter. You know, we can allow things to affect us so much emotionally, like not really in terms of injury or things like that, but like other little things, like, you know, me trying to come back from training and I do one hard training day and I gain 4 pounds. and I've gained 4 pounds and my pants don't fit, like that. It's so sad to say, but like, it used to be a lot harder for me. Like years ago, that was like, going through something like that was almost debilitating on me mentally, because I just couldn't wrap my head around what was going on with fluctuation of water weight in my body. I knew exactly what was happening, but I carried so much weight on my appearance, and not even like to other people. Like it was internal.
Oh, we're the
exact same. So it's like,
but I think through experience, we're so much better off now, knowing that, like, because we've been through different experiences.
Well, changing that focus.
Changing the focus a little bit, and not totally just like, we're both still like super dissatisfied with our bodies right now.
Which is crazy, because anybody listening is like, what the hell?
I know. So, and we're like,
but it just shows that we're all alike. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that are like, maybe there are some, and I love that.
I know that like Jeanna's not going to agree with this, because she always disagrees with any time me and Dee talk about how we're not happy with our bodies.
Well, it's a little rough to listen to sometimes.
But there's a lot to be said for the fact that we have our photos taken.
Yeah.
We have to.
Absolutely.
It's like you still have to show up to work, and you got to wear workout clothes, and you got to like look the part.
Right.
So a lot of extra stress. Like if we didn't have any of that, we could just like be home and just get into our routine and just do that, and not have, you know, and not have to pay our bills, and like not have to like work with you to pay our bills. And it's just extra stress.
We also, because we are very professional, we hold ourselves to a very different standard. Right. Knowing like what we can look like, and when you're not there, there's like a dissatisfaction. But that's also because we're going to be a lot harder on ourselves, and everyone is. So there's also us just being human, because I mean, I've never met someone that's like, I just love every ounce of my, like, you always want to change little things. And that's a good thing, because that's what the gym's there for. Like, I'm never going to be 100% satisfied in my life. Am I okay with it? My body? Fuck yeah. I feel very good. I feel confident. Not right now, but normally.
Yeah.
But on a typical day, when I'm not dying of grit, no, I'm dying.
Yeah. You're not dying. Don't say that.
No,
what would we do without you?
Oh,
Okay.
gosh, that would be devastating. But
Yeah.
like on a normal basis, yes, I'm very proud and confident in my body, but there's always things that I want to improve and work on. Otherwise, then
Right.
what's the point of the gym?
Well, and the difference is too, is like, and I've, worked on this. It's like, it's a matter of like how much, stress you put on those things you want to change.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's a wonderful thing to like want to get stronger. Like I want to lean out a little bit, but I have in the past and still do sometimes, especially if it's around the time if I'm on my period, because now my hormones are involved.
Yeah.
So when I'm feeling bummed, I'm like really feeling bummed.
Right.
Just elevated.
Yeah. But I think it's a wonderful thing to like want to be healthier, and maybe on the road to that and be fitter, you might want things to look or feel slightly different. Now, if we are so focused on what we think are fittest or what we feel like we should look like, and if I don't have that, then everything else feels like shit. I think within that, and I've been there, like when you're so focused on like what
just
you
one
think you
thing,
should look like, I wasn't even able to even really truly see what I looked like.
Oh,
right?
no.
You know what I mean? Like
That's a huge factor of why I don't compete right now. Is because that was my only focus, and I was so crazy. Like, so even in an off season, I just do Olympia and then I have a whole year off. I'm still such a psycho, like going out on a date with Rob, like I'd go and I'd eat a normal meal and I'd eat dessert, and I would feel so terrible because I ate that I'd go home and like go do cardio before bed. Or
That's
the next day, do extra.
It's to an unhealthy level to where it's,
So I think now
it's at the forefront
I'm way more
of what you're thinking about.
I'm way more balanced than I've ever have been. And now that I'm not even competing, besides right now, I was in the best shape of my life like 5 weeks ago. Like strong, like really in shape, and not concentrating on diet whatsoever. Before, like I was on, like it never stopped. Like I wouldn't, it was just, this is my meals, and I eat these 5 times a day, and it was cardio. And I remember doing like 30 to 40 minutes of cardio every day. And I wasn't in the best shape until I started like prep. But now, like, I don't concentrate on food that much. I drink wine whenever I want. And it's like, I just have a better, healthy balance. I know I still probably sound pretty psycho to some people because I don't think I'm in shape right now, but I'm way more balanced. With training, with dieting, and like also enjoying myself
without being a slave to
to that. When we go out to eat, or we have a couple claws last night, like we were going to do cardio, but we didn't this morning.
We were going to do cardio this morning. Actually, the reason we didn't is because we had to be to the office by a certain time. And I told her, I'm like, if I do cardio, which I really want to do because I need to, because I'm trying to drop some of the water off my body.
Photos taken on Thursday.
But I'm like, if I do that, and because I haven't washed my hair, I'd get so sweaty, and we were gonna.
I knew you were gonna say your hair. Yeah.
Well, the thing is this, like, it takes like okay, you know what though? Yes, but I am on my period. Haven't been feeling super great.
Hey, you don't have to defend it.
No, I am. I'm extremely bloated. And
oh my God.
And my hormones are.
Guys, help me.
And my hormones are crazy because I'm on my period. So it's like it takes so much. It takes so much for myself, like mental strength, to try and hold my shit together when I'm getting pictures with D, or we're in the gym and they're doing video and pictures. And on top of all of that, I need to get my hair done so fucking bad. like there's a lot of things, like for me to feel good.
It's a process.
It's actually pretty fucking simple. Like I like to have my hair done, and somewhat nice, and my eyebrows tinted. And then if I could have those things, I feel pretty good. You add in like a period.
Oh,
and not only do I feel really bad internally and emotionally and hormonally, but like my body feels a little bit like, you know what, I'm a little softer, but that's all right. I'm a little more cuddly. And then you add in like, oh my God, I'm breaking out. My hair's fucked up. I need my color done. I can't, I have to fill in my eyebrows. Like it's just like there's not a lot of boxes I like to check to make sure I just feel put together. I feel good about myself no matter what's going on or situation or whatever. And every one of those boxes is unchecked. And I'm like, oh, my hormones are,
Hey, speaking of periods, everybody knows I haven't had one in a long time. I had a dream the other night.
That you had it?
I had a dream that I was pregnant and I didn't know who the father was.
Oh no. Oh, that's
like, what the fuck? Yeah, it was a little devastating. I woke up and just realized it. I just had a belly.
I just had
a belly.
Whoops.
Just a little bloated. All right, guys, we should wrap this up.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to or watching another episode of Between the Wraps with BD and J.
Wow.
Hey, love you girls. All right. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, 5-star rating. 5-star rating.
I don't know what this is. I'm just fiving.
Just fiving. High five, girls. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
There is so much more to nutrition than calories, just counting your calories. Your diet plays a huge role in your microbiome, which in turn impacts your mental and physical well-being. But now we're learning about the connection between your gut microbiome health and type 2 diabetes. Pendulum Glucose Control is the first and only medical probiotic that's designed to manage A1C and blood glucose levels through the health of your microbiome. Over time, people with type 2 diabetes lose the gut bacteria that help digest fiber and manage our blood glucose levels. Pendulum Glucose Control helps fill in the gaps by providing the first and only probiotic designed to manage blood glucose and A1C levels. Pendulum's team of scientists, doctors, and innovators isolated the unique strains of beneficial gut bacteria that help people with type 2 diabetes manage their blood sugar levels. They've isolated one keystone strain, Akkermansia, that is now available to purchase. Pendulum is the only place to find this highly sought-after strain. Take control of your glucose levels today. Try Pendulum Glucose Control for 90 days. If you're not satisfied with your levels, you'll get your money back. Visit pendulumlife.com to find out more and use promo code REPS for 20% off your first bottle of membership. That's pendulumlife.com, promo code REPS.